Hello, coaches. Welcome to season 1, episode 2 of the Life Coaching Mentorship Series with Kelsey Wirtz. And today we're going to be talking all about pricing and money blocks as she builds her online life coaching business. I'm hoping all of you got to watch the episode last week. If you didn't, go ahead and check that out before watching this one. That episode was all about how I do my first coaching session with my personal clients, and we created Kelsey's 3 big picture goals that she wants to work on over the next 3 months as she creates her online life coaching business. And those 3 goals were: she wants to produce content that is fun and relatable. She wants to bring 2 new paying clients on each month at $400 per month and create her first course or digital download or workbook. And just a recap, Kelsey, can you quickly introduce yourself again to the audience and let them know what part of the world you're coming in from and a little bit about your journey towards becoming a life coach?
Yeah, of course. So, hi everyone, I'm Kelsey Wirtz. I am currently residing in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so on the East Coast. As far as how I came to be a life coach, I feel that coaching found me instead of me finding it. I really had a tug on my heart to be able to help people, and I really wanted to share some of my gifts with the world, and I didn't know how to do that until I started researching, and coaching found me, and then I started going on my training program. So it's been about 4 months now since I've started diving headfirst into this journey. So it's been amazing so far, and I just can't wait to continue to build my own business.
Awesome. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Kelsey. And just to let all of you know as well, my name is Krista Kathleen. I'm a life coach and business mentor for women who want to build and grow online life coaching businesses. So let's go ahead and get started. So how I like to lead my life coaching sessions is I start out by asking a win. This is a great way to help my clients to build up their confidence in themselves. Confidence is the #1 block for female entrepreneurs. So this is obviously the most important work we do, because if you don't believe in yourself, then you are not going to powerfully put yourself out in the world to have people to hire you. So Kelsey, what is a win that you want us to celebrate together on this call?
So one of my goals for the past week was to come up with my outline for my course digital download workbook situation. And I had some time on the calendar for Friday, and I actually completed it like on Tuesday or Wednesday. So I was just really proud of myself for going after what I wanted and taking initiative and not waiting until the last second to do something.
Yeah, and last week what we did is we did a do now goal for you, and I made you, you said, okay, this is something that I want to work on. And I was like, okay, Kelsey, I want you to pull out your calendar right now, and I want you to block off an hour next week so that way you can get this done. And it sounds like you were able to get that done even before your blocked off time, right?
Yeah, so I was able to spend that blocked off time to even dive in even deeper into it.
Amazing. So it sounds like that really works well for you, is to plan ahead and, something that you want to prioritize, you want to get done, blocking that time off in your calendar to work on that thing and to let nothing else distract you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely love that technique. Works for me as well and for most of my clients too. Great. Okay. And so let's do a check-in of the things that you worked on last week. So tell me what went well with your commitments from last week and what didn't go so well.
So the outline was my main commitment for last week, and obviously I got it done, and I feel like I viewed that time block almost as a sort of due date. So I wanted the entire thing to be completed by the end of that time block. So I knew I had to prioritize my time, not only for that time block, but also throughout the week if I didn't think like the hour was going to cover it. So it just like brought it top of mind. So I was able to look at it for the full week and just make it a priority. And so I really don't think there was anything that didn't go well because I was only focusing on that one thing.
That's great. So it sounds like you created a goal that was very realistic for you and easy to achieve. So, I mean, that's beautiful. And I mean, if there are weeks where you do have things that, didn't go as planned or you didn't get them done or anything, that will happen. And that's where we use the beginning of these coaching sessions to figure out like, okay, do we need to tweak the goal or do we need to make it smaller or break it down more into baby steps? But it sounds like you set a very good goal for yourself last week that you were able to accomplish.
Hmm.
Perfect. All right, so let's get on to the coaching request now. So I see that you filled out on your form. You said you want to focus on pricing and money blocks. So can you tell me a little bit more about that coaching request?
Yeah, I want this to be a successful business. So at the end of the day, I need to treat it like a business. So getting paid is a huge part of running a business. And I think that I'm having a really hard time placing value on myself. It's easy for me to, I work in the business world now, so it's easy for me to see a pair of jeans and justify that price for the customer. But when it's justifying my own worth and my own value and how I should be paid, that's where I'm really getting self-conscious about.
Okay. So what I'm hearing you say is that you want to have a successful coaching business, and for you successful is treating it like a business and actually getting paid, but there's some kind of block or disconnect with the placing the value on your services, or you said placing the value on yourself, and you compare this kind of like to the cost of a pair of jeans. Tell me a little bit more about that analogy with the pair of jeans.
So I work at American Eagle. So I spent a lot of time working with various pairs of denim. So that's just the first thing that popped into my head.
So tell me about, what is that like inside your mind? Is like you're seeing the prices of the jeans that you're folding, and then you're thinking about the prices that you want to offer in your coaching business. Like what's going through your mind with that?
Yeah, like with the jeans, I'm like, okay, I can see like the buyers bought this and then someone made it and it was manufactured and it was shipped here. So I can see all of that currency, for lack of a better term, like justify that price. And I
Okay.
think when it's me, I'm like, okay, I'm literally putting a dollar amount based on what I'm doing and what I'm presenting. And so that's really hard to do. Like what is my talent worth?
Right, right. I love that question. What's my talent worth? Okay. I have some ideas that, I know can help around this. And this is something that's really common with a lot of life coaches at the beginning of their journey of building up their business. And um, there's this disconnect of like, that you want to be bringing in paying clients, you want this to be a successful business. And then you're like, okay, I know what I need to charge, but then something doesn't feel right or aligned, or it feels off. It's just, there's something missing. There's something getting in the way there. So that's what we need to figure out today is like, you already know what you need to charge, right? And you are investing in a life coach training program for yourself, and you've worked really hard. And so like, we need to figure out like, what's really going on here? Why is it that you're not just able to go out there confidently and say, okay, this is what I'm charging for my services? Why do you feel like there's something off with the worth of that? And so then what do you want to walk away with from today's session, Kelsey?
I want to feel more confident in my pricing. At least with my one-on-one goal, I made a $400 a month that I feel okay with, but there's still like something that's holding me back with it. Um, and then just starting to get a wider idea of what like courses I think that I should charge at, or just like different levels of sales funnels. I feel like that was a wide request, so I apologize.
Okay. Yeah, let's just start off right now. Yeah, because that could turn into a couple of different requests. And so I want to honor your time here. So yeah, let's focus on, again, helping you to feel more confident in pricing at the $400 per month. And is that $400 per client? Or was that because I know you want to bring in 2 new clients each month, right?
Right. So I'm thinking $100 per session.
Okay.
So having 2 people who are paying me $100 per session.
Okay. So then, yeah, that'd be $400 total for the 2 clients, unless they decide to pay in full too. So there's always that option. But we're just going to assume that they're probably going to do the monthly installments because that's usually what a majority of people do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident would you say you are right now with charging that amount of $100 per session?
I feel like I'm at a 6 because I understand logically and I'm very logical based, but it's just the emotions that are getting me a little bit like tied up.
Okay. And then where would you like to be by the end of the session? What number?
An 8 or a 9.
Okay, cool. And I'm just taking some notes here in the background. Okay, so this is going to be a really good way to measure our progress and, just to really be able to see results in this, because if you feel like you're an 8 or 9 by the end of our session, then we're going to be able to say, yay, you were successful and you were able to meet your goal. So that's one of my favorite coaching tools to use is when someone says, I want to feel a certain way, then I ask on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel at the beginning of the call? And then where would you like to be by the end of our call? Okay. So you said that there is some emotions coming into this. What emotions are coming up for you at this time around pricing?
I think money as a whole is really emotionally driven for me. I think that just in general, I have a hard time being okay with wanting money. I think that's something that a lot of people are familiar with, but it just seems like I don't know if it's money is bad. I don't know if it's that kind of connotation, but it's just like my business brain and my personal brain are very split. And so that's why I feel like my business brain is like, yes, this is right. Like, absolutely. But then my other side of my brain is like, but like they're charging for like you and or do you really think you're worth that much? And so it's a lot of just, I guess self-loathing is a really large term and I don't think it's that intense, but it's just insecurities are popping up.
Yeah. So tell me then, when you think of receiving money and receiving really good money for your work, what kind of stories or beliefs come up into your head at this time?
I think something that has come up is, am I old enough to be able to help people? So my age has something to do with it. And then with that, am I experienced enough or do I have the skills kind of like in tangent enough to be asking to be paid?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else comes up for you when you think about receiving money for your services?
I feel like it just makes me really uncomfortable. I think that I wanted to do this. It started by wanting to help people, but then also I know I want this to be my full-time business at some point. So it's crossing that bridge with you can help people, but then you also deserve to be paid for the skills and the ways that you can help people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else is coming up for you around your relationship with money?
I have such a scarcity mindset about it, which I don't know how that's playing into this opportunity to receive more. Um, but there's just is such a block around money. Like it just feels icky to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. let's go back into your past a little bit and tell me about the first time that you remember money feeling uncomfortable and icky.
I think it was when I started my first full-time job, and just that there was lots of bills to be paid and like rent and groceries for the first time. And so it just felt like there was a lot of stress always surrounding money, like making sure that I had enough money to cover rent and I had enough money to take care of myself. So I think that is where I just associated like stress and anxiety surrounding money.
Okay, so it sounds like your current story in your head is that if I bring in more money, that's going to bring in more stress into my life somehow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is, I appreciate you being honest and raw and open about this, because we want to create these new stories for you around money. Because if you're constantly all day long telling yourself like money is bad and money is stressful and I'm going to have to do all this work I don't like in order to take care of myself and receive money, then it's like you're never going to like energetically open yourself up to receive paying clients. And this is why this is so important to do this work now and to change these stories and to remove these energetic blocks. And I'd love to do some hypnotherapy with you around this in the future as well, because I'm sure there's even more going on in the subconscious mind, because our relationships with money is so freaking complicated. And I always like to say starting a life coaching business is like the best personal development course out there that you're going to do. It brings all your shit up to the surface. Every single fear and limiting belief and scarcity mindset, it just brings all that stuff up to the surface, which sucks right now, but later on it's amazing, because once you learn how to heal all that and clear all that, you're just going to be the most confident version of yourself. And you're going to look back years from now, you're going to be like, oh, is that me? Was I really scared of that stuff? And so again, this is all very normal at the stage that you are in during this phase of your life coaching journey. So okay, so what is the new story that you want to write for yourself around money moving forward?
That money first doesn't bring stress and anxiety. I think that's the biggest thing for me, just having to manage money and just all of that just has so much stress pop up for me. So I think I would love to not feel that stress and not correlate that stress with money. But then also knowing that having enough money to take care of myself and my family will also lead to me being able to give back more and be able to, whether it's monetarily or able to not have my two full-time jobs, to be able to volunteer more, just give me more opportunities to serve.
So money doesn't bring stress or anxiety, it allows you to give back more, and you don't have to work jobs that you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that you're familiar with the law of attraction and manifestation, all that, Kelsey. We still have an opportunity here to change this, because there's still, when I said, what's the new relationship you want to have with money? And you said, money doesn't bring stress or anxiety. So you're still focused on what you don't want. So I want you to think about, what is it that you really do want, right? Because in our minds, when we think about the things that we want, we attract more of that. So instead of saying, I don't want money to bring stress or anxiety, what do you want money to bring?
Flexibility.
Okay. So money equals flexibility. What else?
Freedom.
Okay. What else?
New experiences.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Serving others. A beautiful new apartment.
Mm-hmm. What else?
So here's something that I'm getting tripped up on that I just realized while we were going through this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when I first started thinking about the material things that I want, that I know money provides, I start getting really uncomfortable about that. Like when I was like, okay, well, like this thing would be really nice to have in my life because I know it would bring me joy and I'd be proud that I'd be able to afford it and that it's just like an embodiment of everything that I've worked hard towards. But I just feel so uncomfortable like saying a material thing.
All right. Where do you feel that uncomfortableness in your body right now?
Like in my chest.
In your chest. Okay, let's do a hypnotherapy exercise right now. Is that okay if we do that? Okay, so go ahead and close your eyes, Kelsey. Take in a couple nice deep breaths at your own pace. Feel a wave of calmness and relaxation wash over your whole body with each breath. All right. So now thinking about money and buying material things with your money, and you feel this uncomfortable feeling in your chest. If that feeling had a color, a shape, size, texture, what would that be?
Like a really rough stone.
Stone. What else do you notice about this rough stone in your chest?
It's just so uncomfortable and heavy.
Okay, uncomfortable and heavy. How long do you think it's been there for?
Probably years.
Do you know who put it there?
I do not.
If you could,
I put it there myself.
okay. If you could talk to this heavy, rough, uncomfortable stone and it had a voice, what would it have to say?
It would say that material things hide you from the world.
Okay. Material things hide you from the world. What else would it say?
That it makes me look boastful and too proud.
Okay. Makes you look boastful and too proud. What else does this rough stone have to say right now?
It says that material things hide me from the world and people recognize those things more than they recognize me.
Okay. What else would this stone have to say at this time?
That my life is viewed at by like a facade and that people aren't able to see the real me when I surround myself with things.
Okay. What else would the stone say?
It's just saying like some really mean, hurtful things like about my character. Like I'm not able to show my true self and also have nice things, or I can't have nice things and be a good person and want to bring joy and goodness into this world.
Okay. What else does the stone have to say at this time?
That items only bring the need to have more and more items, that I would be focusing on things more than my energy and the energy around me.
What else?
That it's just wrong to want to be surrounded by things that make me happy. That I should be living in less and minimalism, because a lot of people don't have what I have.
What does the stone have to say about you receiving really good money for your life coaching services?
That it'll only bring a sense of greed into my life.
What else would the stone have to say about you receiving money for your coaching services?
That money brings just negative energy, and that it makes people change, and it makes people not focus on the people around them, that it's like a virus.
Is there anything else the stone wants to say about money at this time?
Just that it'll never truly be able to make you happy, so why would you want to bring it into your life?
Do you want to remove this stone from your chest at this time, Kelsey?
Yes, there's so much negativity associated with it.
Okay. What would you like to replace the stone with?
A beautiful rose quartz.
Okay. So I want you to make that change now. Imagine the stone disintegrating from your chest, your heart chakra, and you're filling that area with a beautiful rose quartz. And just breathe. Breathe into that rose quartz now. What does it feel like now having the rose quartz there instead of the stone?
Just so much lighter, and I'm thinking a lot about giving myself grace and accepting myself no matter what my likes or my wants or desires are, that it's okay.
Yeah. And now, Kelsey, I want you to thank yourself for being on this journey with this new relationship with money and showing what it's like to give yourself grace during this journey. So if you'd want to say anything out loud around that.
That money doesn't take over someone's life, that you can be thoughtful and spiritual and loving no matter what the numbers are in your bank account or how much you are receiving.
All right, and when you're ready, taking one last deep inhale in and exhale out, opening up your eyes. Welcome back. So how are you feeling right now?
That was powerful.
There's a lot of stuff going on there,
Yeah.
right? So a couple things is that, we do need to help you, Kelsey, to separate your business from the relationship with yourself. And this is something that I see a lot of coaches do, and I did it as well, as we say, am I worth this service? Would people pay me? And we make it about us, and it's not about us, right? Like, really, at the end of the day, a life coaching session is similar to like a pair of jeans, right? Like, a good pair of jeans, what would you expect to buy or to pay for a good pair of jeans that was well made?
Like monetarily?
Yeah.
Probably like $60.
Okay. And that was probably that's probably pretty easy in your head, right?
Mhm.
You're like, okay, a good pair of jeans, it costs $60. And, you're not going through all this stuff of like, but well, what about the people who made the jeans? And is the jeans really worth it? And, this and this and this, like, it's just simple, right? And so
Mhm.
I want it to be the same thing, because like a life coaching session is really no different than paying for a good pair of jeans, right? Like, a life coaching session from a professional coach who's going through an ICF accredited coach training program is very easily worth anywhere between $50 to $150 per session, right? So like, when you can separate it out like that, it kind of makes it easier. But then when you like put your own self into it, and all this other stuff coming, your relationship around money and the confidence and the relationship with yourself, it does make things so much more complicated. So what are you hearing within all of that?
I'm hearing that my business is separate from me, which is what I wanted it to be. I mean, I created an LLC so I didn't have that pressure, or that, whether it was liability or whatever, I didn't want that fully attached to me, even though my name's on it. So it makes sense that these feelings and the monetary side of it isn't directly connected to me. Like, at this point, yes, I'm the founder of this business, but I'm also an employee of this business. And I think by having that beginning of a mindset shift would be able to let me be more strategic, isn't the right word, but just more able to get into a deeper flow and understand more.
Yeah. And like detached as well,
Hmm.
right? Because like, that's something that I had to tell myself a lot in the beginning, is like, this is what people pay. When you do research, you find this is what people pay for coaching sessions. It's normal. It's
Hmm.
no big deal. It really is. It's no big deal. Like, this is what people pay for personal development, to work with a coach. So
Hmm.
I kind of just had to like keep telling myself that over and over again. And there's a couple other things that came up. You said, am I old enough to be able to help people? First of all, are you open to sharing how old you are?
Yeah, I'm 24.
24. Okay. So I've worked with coaches who are even a lot younger than that. I've worked with coaches who are, late teens to early 20s. And I've worked with coaches who are like in their 60s, right? So like, and I know this hangs up a lot of people, because we think that life coaching is about giving life advice and having all this life wisdom and experience, but really it's not. Being a really good life coach is being able to use these powerful skills of active listening and powerful questioning, and knowing how to like really structure a good coaching session and all that. And so you're going through the training right now in order to become a really skilled great coach. And really, your age does not matter at the end of the day, because you have all the life coaching skills to help someone solve their problems.
Hmm.
So what are you hearing around that?
I'm hearing that age is just a number, which I continuously try to tell myself, and that I I know I'm a good listener. I know that I'm able to echo what clients are saying. I know that I have a good curiosity and a good intuition, and that's pretty much all the basic skills of a coach. So
Yeah.
that there's nothing to be anxious or nervous about.
And honestly, there's a lot of people out there who are going to want to work with someone that is relatable to them, and that's going to want to work with someone that's closer in age to them, versus like hire, someone that's in their early 20s and they just got out of college and they're trying to figure out, like, I don't know what my next step in life, they might not want to work with someone who's like 50 years old. They would probably want to work with someone who's closer in age to you, who's going to get them and who can relate to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so then the other thing too is you asked, am I experienced enough? Which again, that's kind of like that imposter syndrome, again, that most coaches, face. And I did as well in the beginning, is like, kind of, who am I to be coaching people? And I remember I felt this too, is more and more people are hiring me, and I would have like moms that had multiple children, and I hadn't had kids yet, and I had people that were making like way more money than me in their businesses, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why are these people coming to me for help? Like, can I really help them? But they saw something in me and they trusted me and they wanted me on their team, and I just had to trust that I did know what I was doing and I was in the right profession, and the universe was bringing this at the perfect time in my life, and that the more that I coached people, I would start to feel more experienced enough, and I would start to feel more confident. And confidence does come with practice. The more people that you coach, the more results that you see people get, the more, all that, you're going to start to feel more confident. And it just kind of takes time, and you just have to kind of embrace those really uncomfortable feelings in the beginning that comes with anytime we're new at something. It's going to be really uncomfortable. And there's like a quote that I love: in order to be an expert, you have to be a beginner first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what are you hearing within that?
I'm hearing that I place a lot of worth over the end goal. And so I'm such a perfectionist that I'm uncomfortable going through the beginning stages because I want to be the best and I want to like uphold this high standard. And I think like it's so not me because my entire brand and life coaching business is built around like the messy middles and like life's a journey and working through that. So I think I need to lean into that more.
I love that. Yeah. Lean into that more. And so what would that really look like? This is going to build upon what you just said. What would that really look like to own the fact that you are a 24-year-old new life coach at this time?
That I'm just a sponge and I'm learning as much as I can and I'm trying to experience as much as I can and just being vulnerable and authentic and having a growth mindset. Like, this is everything that I do. No experience is bad experience. So, just really talking to myself and how I would talk to my clients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. And so my next question was going to be, what would that look like to own that on a coaching call? So it sounds like you kind of already answered that, is to talk to your clients that you talk to yourself. How else would it look like to own being a 24-year-old new life coach on your coaching calls?
Um, I think that it would start by building a co-creative relationship that we're both in it together and we're both people going through life and I'll be able to help them. In return, they'll probably end up helping me. And it's just all about building connections and not feeling like you're alone in life.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. And it's like once we start taking all this pressure off of ourselves to like show up as the expert or to have to, get all the answers or get all the results for our clients, and we just show up as like this beautiful, light, energetic guide, right? We're just this like presence in people's lives to help them pull out their own answers, right? So we can like take the pressure off of ourselves and really let our clients do most of the work because they're meant to. I think for me, Kelsey, whenever I was like, oh my gosh, I have to perform and I have to be the world's best coach and I have to have them have a breakthrough on every session and this, like, that's when I really was worried about like not being good enough and not being a good coach. And when I kind of like let that go and I was like, I'm just going to show up, I'm going to listen, I'm going to ask some really great questions, and I'm going to trust that my client has all the solutions and answers and that they are going to get amazing results when working with me. Like that's when things went really well.
Yeah, I feel like I was placed on this journey for a reason. And so why would I have self-doubt and why would I facilitate that emotion when I know this is the right path for me and I know that I have the ability to just ask questions and be curious and connect with people energetically. So why would that make me nervous? I have all those skills. I do all those things on a daily basis and now I'm just able to do it more potently and get paid for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to check back in with your original request, which was, you're feeling at a 6 confidence wise with bringing in $400 a month, and you wanted to be at about an 8 or a 9 by the end of this call. Where do you think you're at right now, number wise?
I feel like I'm at an 8. I feel pretty good about having my business and myself separate.
And the rates that you're asking for is very normal and standard in the life coaching industry and, at the journey that you're in. And, think about too, like how much you've invested in this training and invested in the skill set. And that shouldn't be taken lightly, right? Like, you don't want to charge peanuts for. I know for me, I spent between $7,000 to $10,000 in my coach training, and then I've hired coaches and done courses for years. So like, when I ask someone to pay me $300 for a 90-minute session, like absolutely it's worth it because I've put in the time and the money and the energy, for that rate. And I know the results. I know I can get amazing results from my clients. Mm-hmm. And I know you can too, Kelsey, and you already have because you've already been working with people. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what, if anything, still feels like unclear for you or feels out of alignment with charging or bringing in $400 a month for 2 paying clients?
I don't think anything. I think that I am trying to just go wherever the universe takes me. And so I think I have a goal that I want to get 2 paying clients by September, but I also am trying to be, again, like patient with myself and putting in the work, but also not having super, super high, unrealistic expectations. So it's just, I'm so results driven. So I want to see those results, but then I'm also trusting the process and having faith in the process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then let's move on to your commitments that you want to do over the next week. So what is the first thing that you want to be working on that's going to allow you to bring in to confidently, I want to add that in, what's going to allow you to confidently bring in those first 2 paying clients for yourself? What do you need to do?
I think I want to put the price on my website. I think I want to actually build literally just a landing page for a session and then have that price on there, and then be able to vocalize that to the audience that I already have, not necessarily the price, but just that I'm now looking for full-time clients, like, and be able to direct them to that page.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's something that I had to do as well. As I felt like I need to have my prices on my website. I want the world to know what I charge. If I keep it in my head, then I'm going to like constantly change it on my sales calls and lower my rates and discount myself. And that was the best decision I've ever made for me and my business, because like now when I show up to a sales call and I know that my potential client has already been on my webpage, you know, they already know what my prices are. It's like, it's done. It's set in stone.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to like, you know, it's just, it's there. Right. And it's that simple kind of like we talked about with the blue jeans earlier. It's just like, this is what it costs to work with me. That's it. End of story. It's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to be a huge discussion. So kind of the same thing for you. So I love that. So when do you want to put your prices on your website and have that ready to go by?
So if my goal is to start having people in September, I want to have it up for like 2 weeks before, just to get that traction. So I feel like by next week, by, I'm going to say the 17th, by next Monday.
Okay. August 17th. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. What else do you want to commit to doing?
I am going to commit to being more vocal about my coaching business. I think that I was a little bit vocal before, and like I threw it in my Instagram bio, but I haven't been showing up as a coach. I've been showing up as someone going through life, and I want to be able to start building that credibility as a coach that will be able to build my confidence and then also build my audience. So it's not so much of like, who's this girl? It's more like, no, she's a coach. She is a wellness and life coach.
Love that. So what, if we could put that into a SMART goal, what does that look like to be more vocal about your coaching business and start showing up as a coach?
I think I know that I want to go live once a week with some sort of tip or like skill or something. I'm in the process of creating a few like 7-day challenges. So once those are complete, it'll be easy for me to go on live and be able to talk about those. But until those are done, I think just like short little couple minutes, many things on like a skill that you can do, or like a journaling prompt that someone can do to begin to work on themselves, and then also position myself as someone who's able to facilitate that.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that, because that's like something that you would do on your coaching sessions, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I always like to tell people is that, right, however you would show up in your coaching business and on your sessions, that's how you need to show up in your marketing as well. Mm-hmm. So when do you want to do that live by?
I want to do one live a week. So I'm going to say by Saturday, with the goal of doing it on Friday.
Okay. And so what date is that on Saturday?
So Saturday would be the 16th or the 15th.
Okay. So go live on August 15th on Instagram. Okay. Perfect. And then what kind of accountability would you like around those two things?
I think I'm just gonna like screenshot it and send it to you on Saturday. Just be like, hey, I did it. And then also with my pricing too. I'll just shoot you an email. I think by putting out myself to shoot you an email, that just was like, okay, I need to do this.
Okay. Love that. Yep. I will look out for that screenshot from you. And then is it okay if I add in one more exercise that has really helped my past clients around money fears?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I really love this one. It's helped me a lot as well. But have you ever wrote a letter to money before?
No.
Okay. This is really powerful. So you treat money like it's a person in your life, and you write it like a love letter or a breakup letter or just some kind of letter where you're taking your power back. And so what that would look like is, dear money, I want to apologize for so long. I've been treating you like you're this bad person, but really you're not. You bring so much good into the world, and I know you bring good into my life. So I'm so sorry that I've pushed you away. So just write this heartfelt letter to your money and start treating, money like it's someone you really, really care about.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd actually love to hear it and have you read it on our next session as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to take a lot of, you could just take like maybe 15 minutes to do that. It doesn't have to take up a lot of time. Okay, let me write that down too. All right, and then so what is one new thing you learned about yourself from our session today?
One new thing that I learned about myself is that I was carrying around such a self-made hatred of myself and my beliefs when it had to come with money. Like, I'm the person who forms that and put that there. And so now I'm the person to change it and shape it and mold it. So just being able to realize that I truly hold the power in this situation, and that I am the power in this situation, not that I hold it, but just really like taking that back and steering the conversation more towards me and not these thoughts that are going in my head.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And then how can I acknowledge you today, Kelsey?
For being vulnerable and showing up, and even though it was scary to like truly, that I was able to truly acknowledge what was going on and be able to feel that and live in that for a little bit.
Yeah, thank you for being brave and being vulnerable. And this is the true and quickest and most direct path to, healing all those old wounds and helping you to have a successful, profitable coaching business. So thank you for showing up this way today.
Thank you.
All right. Well, have an amazing week, and I will talk to you next week, and I will look out for those screenshots from you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Krista.
You're welcome. Bye, Kelsey.
Bye-bye.